Kevin Bannon, you're very welcome back to Let's Talk Football World Cup special, of course, at this time of the summer of 2026. We are going to have another quick look at the top five players you picked to watch out for at the World Cup this summer across America, Canada, and Mexico. And Kevin, you've had a faller.
Yes, Jan Diomande has sadly exited the tournament alongside his Ivory Coast teammates. Just couldn't quite find enough against Norway, could they, the other night? And of course, the main man, Haaland, does it again. And in fact, it was the other bright young Ivorian who got them back into the game with a brilliant goal from Ahmad. I think Diomande has maybe slightly faded as the sort of tournament has gone on and maybe the matches have gotten harder. But like we said last time, I think he's shown enough quality and he's played well enough to take that next step in his career. I think there was a report that if he's going to move anywhere, it'll be PSG. Although I'm sure we'll get on to them, seeing what some of their forwards have done this tournament so far. It may not be an easy way in. But yes, sadly, Jan Diomande, like I said, started brilliantly, faded slightly, but definitely one of the most exciting players, particularly early doors in this tournament for me. Just nearly an old school winger in the fact that he wants to take his man on, can go left, can go right, just technical level really good, physicality really good, and just I think he's going to go from strength to strength because I think he's wonderful.
Funny you say about the PSG forward line, etc. Some of them may move on as well. I mean, there's going to be a lot of movement after this World Cup.
Yeah, I think there is, and I don't know if this is a segue into one of my other names on this list, but Lukas Vuskovic, who this is one of my misses, I think, because he played that first game against England, hasn't featured at all since. Obviously, Portugal are up next for Croatia. Maybe there's a spot for him in the middle of that back four because the way a certain someone is playing, you could nearly put anyone back there at this point. But Vuskovic seems like he's gone to Brighton, it looks like. That seems to have gone through. I can't remember the fee. I think it's around
30 million?
30 million, I think.
Yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar, all right, yeah.
Yeah, Spurs to Brighton. So, and look, we know what that Brighton scouting department are like. We know when they sort of invest in young players that it tends to work out more often than not. They've obviously lost Van Hecke themselves this season, so he's obviously the replacement that they see for Van Hecke. So I do wonder if he comes back into the side against Portugal, because we've seen how you play against this Portugal team. You sit deep and you defend and you try hit them on the break, as DR Congo did, as Colombia did in patches as well, although I think Colombia were slightly more adventurous as well. So I would be interested to see if he comes back into the team for that. He has that physicality about him, because as much as Ronaldo is flawed, he still is quite strong and big, and can put himself about a bit.
And can jump, as we know.
And can jump, exactly. So I do wonder if Dalic does turn to him and say, look, you started the first game, you mixed bag, we've won our next two. Maybe he doesn't want to change anything, but so we'll see. But at least he's still in the news with that move to Brighton.
Morocco have been one of the teams of the tournament, albeit that it took them penalties to get through to the last 16. But Bouhaddi, you've highlighted him at the very start. He was brilliant in the opening match.
Yeah, he was brilliant in the opening match. He's been slightly quieter since, but I still think the quality is there from him. He is, and like this Morocco team, I know it went to penalties the other night, but I thought they deservedly won. I didn't watch it live, but I had a chance to sort of watch it back, and to me, they were the better side. And you look at Bouhaddi in the middle of the park again, up against guys like De Jong and Gravenberch, coming in, even someone who came off the bench, Koopmeiners for the Netherlands, really solid European midfielder. And it's the composure and the calmness at this level that really stands out to me. We sort of joked, didn't we, when I initially said this about his press resistance. But it in a way it's true. He's so good on the ball under pressure. He always seems to make the right decisions, and far from looking out of his depth. He's still 18 years of age, which is incredible. And just on Morocco as a wider point, I mean, when they were down that game, when they were 1-0 down that game, the managers turned to El Morabe in the middle, Yassine on one side, Talbi on the other, 20, and 21. So he's trusting the youth of this Moroccan side, and this is the manager who won the Under-20 World Cup with Morocco not so long ago as well. And I've been really impressed with them, and I think you have as well. And I think honestly, this is just the start for Moroccan football. What they've done.
When the World Cup was in America the last time in '94, somewhere around then, Pele said that an African team would win the World Cup before the end. I think he said before the end of the century, which didn't happen. But Morocco, you would think, if these players develop the manner in which they're developing, if he builds, as you said, they won the Under-20 World Cup with this manager, they're going to be serious contenders very soon, if not now.
And their co-hosts next time out in 2030 alongside Spain and Portugal. So, and we saw during the AFCON just gone, they were hosting for that. They got to the final. Some of those stadiums, those crowds were right behind them. Obviously, the nonsense of the final happened. But they're one of a footballing powerhouse upcoming, if not, as you said, if not already there. And I mean, they've Canada next, who I think they should take care of, really. I think they're just a superior side to Canada, and Buadi is key to that. And you mentioned that Pele quote. I mean, 9 of the 10 African teams that qualified for the World Cup got through. Now, obviously, we've lost a few along the way. Now, in the last few days, South Africa, Ivory Coast, DR Congo, Senegal, as we record, are sort of on a bit later.
Yes,
and see how they get on. But yeah, for me, this Morocco team, like I said, they're only coming up, and think about in 4 years' time, Buati's only going to be 22, and who knows where he'll be. He could be the best midfielder in the world. He's certainly on a trajectory like that.
I'm going to call your Bosnian Karim, because I'll allow you to pronounce his surname. Good World Cup, bad World Cup?
Aloj Begovic. So it wasn't a great World Cup, and then I don't know if you saw his goal against Qatar. It's an unbelievable strike, and I think I texted you away.
I think we were WhatsApping at the
time, and I was like, "Right, we're back. We're back. We were gone, but now we're back." Yeah. Mixed again, sort of like Vuskovic. He has featured quite a lot, Aloj Begovic, but I think I said last time Bosnia have just they're a bit more sort of turgid than I was maybe not expecting, but they haven't been as dangerous on the counter as I maybe hoped, and he would have been key to that. Now, look, the goal against Qatar is phenomenal. He comes from the left-hand side in onto the right and unleashes this incredible hit into the top corner. To send them through to the next round, obviously the US for them. So that's a huge test, obviously, for Bosnia in San Francisco. So we'll see if he can replicate it. Again, has those qualities that I like. We mentioned before the tournament started, he'll be playing with Leverkusen next season. They've already activated that buyback clause from Salzburg. So again, very young, only 19, so more of a learning curve maybe this World Cup, but again, shown those flashes of what he can really do and what he's capable of. But we don't want to get too much into predictions maybe, but I don't know how much more we'll see of him.
Manzambi, 20 years of age, Johan. He is the elder statesman of the 5 that you picked out.
Yes.
Your verdict?
And brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Again, we talked about only came off the bench against Qatar, didn't have an impact. Came off the bench against Bosnia, scored twice, 2 really, really good goals, 2 very different finishes, the volley and then the one from the from the cross from the right hand side, and then made all the difference against Canada yet again in the final group game, a goal and an assist, and he just brings a spark to this Swiss team, who again I haven't been overly impressed by, but when he gets involved, when he gets his head down, drives them forward from the middle of the park, and again, sort of like Buati, who always seems to make the correct decision and has that eye for goal. I mean, he has 3 goals in the tournament so far, which I know you called him an elder statesman, but for a 20-year-old midfielder who's playing for Freiburg, that's massive. I don't think he'll be at Freiburg for very long. I'd say they're loving seeing this and just keeping that price tag going.
Their bank manager,
but
their bank manager is, even if their bank manager isn't a football fan, he or she is now.
Yes, exactly. So he's been really, really good. I'm slightly surprised at how much of an impact he's had in the goals. We sort of mentioned that he can get on the end of a few things, or he's liable to hit one, but like 3 goals in 3 and a bit games is brilliant. So I think he's been a real spark for this Swiss team that sort of badly needed one and has needed one at various times throughout this tournament. They have Algeria up next, who were involved in an absolute manic game against Austria. So we'll see how that one turns out. But if Switzerland are to, get through to the last 16, he's definitely going to play because he's been really, 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 really good.
They're going to need that spark again, aren't they? It hasn't been visible often enough. France, Kevin, they are looking the team most likely at this moment in time, aren't they?
Yeah, for me, definitely. And I think for most people, I think they've hit a level in this tournament that no one else has. Some of the football on display against Sweden, it could have been 7. It honestly could have. And what else can you really say about this? The attacking talent is up to a level. I can't really remember a team at a World Cup that had this. Maybe that Brazil 02 team that had Rivaldo, Ronaldo, and Ronaldinho. But other than that, I mean, obviously you had that great Spain team. You had France themselves who won it. Argentina had Messi. Italy with Cannavaro and Buffon and Nesta.
Brazil in 70, but that's a different era. It's a different time.
It's a different era, and
it's a different ball. Just never mind anything else. The ball is different.
But even just from my perspective, from what I can remember watching this tournament, sort of 2002 is the first one I really picture clearly, and you had that brilliant Brazil team. But my God, this Michael Olise, I mean, the level he is reaching in this tournament, he was doing what he wanted on the field against Sweden. And okay, this Sweden team, are they great? They're fine. They have a couple of decent players, but they're never going to really reach the latter stages. But France just absolutely dismantled them. Mbappe may go down in history as the best World Cup player of all time. I mean, he's passed Miroslav Klose, and we talked about it the other week, didn't we? It's like, well, poor Miroslav, you've had your run, well done.
Yeah.
You were a great goal scorer, but stand aside. Messi's gone through you. Now, Mbappe has surpassed him. Olise is basically having an assist of the tournament competition by himself.
He's carried on. He's carried on from the form in the Champions League all season. It's just he stepped up to another level.
Yeah, I think there's an argument he is the best player in the world at the moment, and I think there's a very, very good case that he'll win the Ballon d'Or if Mbappe stops scoring. But he's incredible. And the bicycle kick that he hit the post with was like, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. But then you've Dembele, who's got that hat-trick against Norway. Okay, they're reserve team, but the goals were phenomenal. Barcola, excellent yesterday. And then when you don't want to play Barcola, you've Desiree Doué coming off the bench. Ryan Cherki can't even get into this team. And then I think what's been really key for this France team, I think Rabiot and Tchouaméni have been really, really excellent. He sort of tinkered with it, Deschamps, in the group stages, where he went Rabiot, Tchouaméni for the first game. Then he went Rabiot, Kone. Then he went Tchouaméni, Kone. And he was like, right, my best two are clearly Rabiot and Tchouaméni. Rabiot has been really, really good. We sort of touched on the fact that he's almost like a Deschamps figure. as a player himself on the pitch. Tchouaméni, I think, is really, really good at snuffing out those attacks, reading those passes forward and setting them on those attacking transitions. I think Saliba and Upamecano have looked solid. Magnan, I think, on his day, can be the best goalkeeper in the world. The one area that concerns me is the fullbacks. Now, Koundé, I'm a fan of Koundé. I think he's been slightly off of this tournament. And left back in particular, he's flip-flop between Digne and Hernandez. I don't think he rates or trusts either of them, but he's trying to find the best one. But other than that, I mean, like I said, I don't see any other team's top performance anywhere really near this France team. They look unstoppable at the moment. And who knows? We often say, you mentioned Brazil, there's all that talk about that 1982 team, one of the best teams of all time, didn't win it. Going back even further, that Hungary team with Puskás and
Holland
in the 50s didn't win it.
Holland didn't win.
The Netherlands, in the Netherlands with Johan Cruyff in 74 didn't win it. So sometimes the best team doesn't win it. But I mean, it's really hard to see anyone stopping this attack. That they give you chances, but like with their attackers in this form, like they could score 5 every single game.
And it doesn't matter who your left back is if you're going to score 5 in every game.
Now, I will say, and I fully expect them to beat Paraguay next, but what we saw from Paraguay against Germany, maybe that is how you stop them. You just play that suffer ball that Paraguay play with. I just can't remember who I heard. Paraguay have the same ideals as Uruguay, which is not the World Cup history. Yeah, they're just horrible to play against.
As Germany, they're still in the tournament. Yeah, they're still in the tournament. And Bielsa is gone, and Uruguay are gone home. Barcola, by the way, I love this fact on Twitter that his brother once failed a trial at Dundalk, which.
Really?
Yeah, somebody on Twitter has put that up every week for the last 3 weeks, which is
that's hilarious.
A fantastic little stat to have, and I really think it just shows you there's always an angle out there somewhere. Speaking of Irish angles, and you saw me on WhatsApp when Kane got the equalising goal tonight, before we started recording, when Kane got the equaliser and then got an unbelievable winner. I lost my heart to a Galway goal.
Were you falling in love with DR Congo, and then it was just
I owe them an apology, Kevin. I called them DC Congo a couple of times during the week, so DC and DR, there you go. What was I going to do in terms of Galway? So obviously there's a connection through his dad's family. You rightly pointed out we've seen photographs of him with a Mayo jersey, but certainly he delivered tonight, Harry Kane, didn't he?
Yes, he did. The second goal in particular is phenomenal. It's an unbelievable strike. He doesn't even look up at the goal, and it's in the top corner. First one, again, he's in the right place at the right time. Unfortunately, a few times I've looked at it, and he had a great game, but I think Mpazi, the goalkeeper, should really save it. And obviously Kane was involved again. I think it's the best dive I've ever seen for a penalty, because he had me sold initially. So, but look, you can't underestimate the value he has to this side. He's England's best player since Bobby Charlton, and I don't think there's any doubt about that. He constantly delivers for them.
And he's a bloody good captain.
He is, and he may not be, the most shouty or roary or whatever, but leading by example, and he always seems to pop up when they need him. Now, obviously, people will point out, yes, I know he missed the penalty against France 4 years ago. I get that. But they wouldn't be in the positions that they get themselves into without him. And I think this is a wider context around this England team. This performance and the performances so far, bar the 20 minutes after half-time against Croatia, are uncannily similar to the Euros last 2 years ago in Germany, where I did not think they were great or look great at all. However, you've players who step up in big moments. You've Kane, you've Bellingham, who stepped up against Panama to get the goal. Saka will probably be due a moment as well. These are big, big players who step up when your team needs you. I don't know how far that can take them because, again, today it was more of the same, struggling to break them down. You have to say, Mpazi pulls off some incredible
Well,
saves.
the one from Bellingham, even Bellingham
Yeah.
applauded it.
Yeah. He pulls off some incredible saves, so they're unlucky not to score. Before that, they're a calamity at the back. They're really, really poor defensively. The right back situation, I mean, we saw Rice slip in there, best midfielder in the world. Some would have you believe playing at right back. I also don't think he's 100% fit.
No.
At this point, I thought Anderson was poor today. Bellingham, look, I think he was quiet today, but you're not going to like I said, he's a moments player and he will step up. And then the wingers, you go with Rashford, Madueke. Madueke was poor. Rashford was poor. Gordon, who hasn't had a good tournament, made the difference. 2 assists off the bench.
I am going to stand up for Gordon here because I see the Spanish press. He hasn't even played a game for Barcelona yet.
Yeah.
And already they are filtering him like a tin of sardines, which is just incredible. He's playing for England. He's not playing for Barcelona, lads. Relax a bit. Let him get in.
Yeah.
And let's see what he does. But particularly the second goal, he kept his composure. He kept the ball at his feet, and he got the ball into Harry Kane when he was under severe pressure.
Yeah, and that, I think, has to be the game plan for England going forward. Get the ball to Harry Kane. And Tuchel has built this team to complement Harry Kane. I mean, he is 72 goals this season or something ridiculous for club and country. He is phenomenal. Now, I thought DR Congo played well in patches. I thought they ran out of legs, which is understandable. Tough test for England now in the Azteca against Mexico. Completely different environment. You can definitely see them going through. Are Mexico a better side than DR Congo? Probably, just about. They're one of the few teams that haven't conceded a goal. You look at who they've played, they maybe haven't played that strong of opponents. You could maybe argue the same about England as well. Have they played a strong, a sort of higher mid-level opponent? Maybe Croatia, but they're sort of on the wrong end of that age profile. But look, I'm yet to see this Tuchel revelation. What's the reason he's brought in to this England job? The reason he's brought in is because England have gotten really close, and apparently the deciding factor is Southgate was not tactically astute enough to push them over the line. That's basically it. So, and I think I said this to you before the tournament started. If England don't win it, the Tuchel experiment has been a failure.
And he's got a 4-year contract.
And he's got a 4-year contract. This isn't now, I'm not coming on here and saying they won't win the World Cup. I think it'll be very difficult. I mean, if you look at now their run, Mexico in the Azteca, potentially Brazil in Miami, and then potentially Argentina. And then France super team. It would obviously be their best ever World Cup performance. Even going off 1966, where they actually won it. As I said, I don't know how far this can take you, relying on these big players to step up in big moments, because we saw Bellingham had that chance in the first half, didn't really impact the game. Kane, we've seen struggle in big knockout games at the end of seasons where he looks a bit leggy before. We mentioned Rice looks injured. The wingers haven't quite fired yet. Suddenly, you have no right back.
They've no right back. They've no right back.
Suddenly, they've no right back. Gahey and Konza, I'm sorry, they do not fill me with any sort of confidence. You got your Jordan Pickford error today. You were waiting on it.
Yes, I have.
And you got it. However, they also could just do exactly what they did in the Euros and not play that well, and yet get to a final.
And we wake up
and then who knows?
We wake up on that Sunday in July, and there they are, looking at us.
Yeah, you don't know.
Finally, Kevin, in your commentary role, I know you have a game on Friday night. Tell us who you are commentating on Friday night.
Yes, so I'm lucky enough to be doing Argentina versus Cape Verde, which for a number of reasons on this podcast, I think holds a lot of importance, shall we say. And look, I'm really looking forward to it. It's Messi versus Pico. That's the headline, isn't it? It'd be interesting to see how Cape Verde get on. Like we've discussed, I've been so impressed with them, and I've been so impressed in the courage that they've played with. Really, it's very easy. No, easy is probably the wrong word, but it's natural to sort of sit in that low block and defend, which they've had to do, particularly against Spain. But in the other two games, they've really come out and played, and they show they have an attacking threat as well. And in terms of Pico, he's just been phenomenal. Like he's been so good, and I mean everything from here on in is a free hit. Starting with this, I mean, what better thing can happen to you in a World Cup if you're from a country like this, where you've already exceeded expectations. You made it through to the knockout rounds in your first ever, and then you come up against the best player of all time, who, by the way, has scored 6 goals in 3 games.
And the option was Sligo Rovers in the showgrounds.
Yes.
That was the other side of the draw.
Yeah, I mean, look, what's more glamorous, Messi versus Messi in Miami, or a lovely trip to the west coast of Ireland and the showgrounds, which is a perfectly nice ground.
It's a proper football club, a proper
I love
football
it,
ground. Yeah.
Look, I'm sure you've direct contact with the man himself, so you could ask him that question. Obviously, I'm sure he'll be very magnanimous in his answer. But look, it's going to be great. I know you'll be watching intently, and I'm really looking forward to it. And in a way, obviously, you want Pico to do well and Cape Verde to do well, but can Messi still keep doing this? By the way, that's another question. Like, can he keep doing it? He's like 6 goals in 3 games. It's phenomenal. And Argentina have a bit of a soft run, maybe, to a potential semi-final against England. We'll see if they can just keep chugging away, because so far they look good.
Isn't it just such a happy story? Isn't it? It's just you have to take joy out of the story.
Oh, of course you can. And like this, we spoke before the tournament again about why this is the best sporting competition in the world, and why me and you are such fans. You're a World Cup-aholic, as you described yourself. And these are the stories that make the World Cup. And I can't remember who was writing it, but like, you measure your life in World Cups nearly, as people who are into it as much as we are, and as much as millions and millions of people around the world, you measure. And these are the things you'll remember forever. Pico versus Messi in Miami. Like, someone says that to you in 30 years, you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was great.
And we wish him the very, very best of luck. And sure, he's only a young fella next to Messi anyway.
Exactly. He has the age on him.
Yeah, he could be any one of those 5 you picked to watch. He could actually be their father. Yeah. That's just.
So, and in that regard, I don't want to see Messi running past him, because Pico has the legs on him.
There you go. Kevin, enjoy your commentary on Friday night. Thank you as always for looking back over the events in the World Cup over the past 7 days. I think we're both agreed that France are going to be the team to beat. From here on in, they've definitely been the team to beat up to now. And we look forward to you joining us again next week.